If you're tired of the noisy and crowded scene in Tokyo and want to find a quieter place with culture, beautiful scenery, and delicious food, then I think Kanazawa is a reasonable destination. This city belongs to Ishikawa Prefecture, located near Gifu and Toyama. It's not as famous as Kyoto or Osaka, but it has plenty to discover. I spent about 2 days here, leaving early in the morning from Tokyo and returning the next afternoon. If you also have only 2 free days, then this travel documentary is for you. Transportation from Tokyo. I departed from Tokyo Station at around 7 a.m. I booked my Shinkansen ticket online in advance, using the Hokuriku Shinkansen line. The train goes directly to Kanazawa in about 2.5 to 3 hours, depending on the type of train. I chose the Kagayaki train, the fastest type. If you've never taken a bullet train in Japan before, I suggest leaving a bit early to enjoy the full experience. Choose a window seat, buy a bento box at the station, grab a hot cup of coffee from a vending machine. Then sit back and enjoy the view as the train starts gliding along. The farther we got from Tokyo, the fewer tall buildings I saw, replaced instead by fields and hills. If you go during the colder months, you might see snow covering the mountains and small towns along the route. The train is very quiet. Hardly anyone speaks loudly. I took the opportunity to have breakfast with a bento of grilled salmon and rolled omelet, followed by a hot latte to stay alert. The air inside the train in the morning was clean and warm, and with free Wi-Fi available, I took some time to look up a few places I'd visit that day. The train arrived in Kanazawa right on time, as always. Stepping out of Kanazawa Station, the first thing I saw was the Suzumi Gate. 2 large wooden pillars resembling upright drums standing in front of the entrance. This gate is the symbol of the city, simple but striking. You can see it clearly from afar. The air here felt much quieter than in Tokyo, and I felt at ease the moment I got off the train. First impressions of Kanazawa. Kanazawa is not a very large city, but it's clean and modern. As soon as I stepped out of the station, what impressed me and stuck in my memory about Kanazawa was the striking Suzumi Gate. This is one of the symbols of Kanazawa, resembling a giant wooden drum placed right in front of the station. I stayed at a capsule hotel a few minutes' walk from the station, priced around 38 to 40 USD per night. The room had all the basic amenities. There was a place for luggage, a bed with a soft mattress, a reading light, and the shared bathroom was clean with no unpleasant odors. Day 1. Exploring Omicho Market, Kenroku-en Garden, and Higashi Chaya Old Town. I stopped by Omicho Market, about a 15-minute walk from the station. This is the most famous market in Kanazawa. It's been around for over 300 years, specializing in fresh seafood, local vegetables, and a few stalls selling freshly prepared food. If you've ever been to Nishiki Market in Kyoto or Kuramon Market in Osaka, then Omicho has a similar vibe. Next, I stopped at a stall selling grilled A5 Wagyu beef. They sell it by the skewer, each one costing about 5 to 8 USD, depending on the type. I chose a simple salt-grilled Wagyu skewer. The meat was tender, evenly marbled, rich in flavor, but not greasy. Next to it, I also ordered a grilled scallop about the size of a palm, drizzled with soy sauce and grilled on the spot. Sweet, firm, and very satisfying. If you're into sashimi, there are also many small places here selling seafood rice bowls, kaisenden, priced from $6.50 to $16.30 USD depending on the fish. I didn't have sashimi at the time because I wanted to save room for dinner. After eating, I walked to a nearby coffee shop to rest. The place was small, with wooden tables and chairs and no music playing. I ordered a hot latte and sat at a window seat looking out to the street. The atmosphere was quiet, and just sipping coffee while looking outside felt really relaxing. I left the cafe and walked straight to Kenroku-en Garden. This is one of the main attractions in Kanazawa. It's about a 20-minute walk from Omicho Market. The road is paved with stone, lined with big trees, small shops, and clearly marked signs in both Japanese and English. Luckily, admission to the garden was free that day. Normally, it costs about $2.10 USD. I arrived around noon, just after the rain had stopped, so the air was cool and a bit damp. In one corner of the garden, there was a small old tea house with a low tiled roof overlooking a pond. I stopped in to try a basic tea ceremony set, which included a cup of hot matcha and a wagashi sweet, about $5 USD. The tea was thick, slightly bitter, with a fragrant scent of tea leaves. The sweet was mildly sugary, filled with red bean paste and shaped to match the season. I sipped slowly, enjoying the peaceful atmosphere. Kenroku-en isn't very large, but if you like to walk slowly and take in the details, it could take 1 to 2 hours. There are many stone benches scattered throughout the garden. I saw local elderly people bringing their own bento and having lunch right there. A few solo photographers were also there, carrying large cameras, waiting for sunlight to stream through the leaves to capture the perfect moment. I decided to have dinner with katsu curry, a local specialty of Kanazawa recommended by many locals. It's an everyday dish, white rice served with thick curry and crispy fried meat. It sounds simple, but the flavor is remarkably different if you eat it at the right place. The spot I chose was near the old market area called Go Curry, a fairly famous chain in Kanazawa. The space was small, about 20 seats, and service was through a vending-style ordering system. Choose your dish, print the ticket, give it to the staff, and wait. I ordered a medium-sized pork katsu curry, priced around $5 to $6. The food came on a metal tray, with the fried pork cutlet covered in thick, dark brown curry sauce, served with a bit of raw shredded cabbage. The meat was crispy and tender, and the curry was rich with a slightly sweet and creamy flavor. The shop had water, napkins, chili sauce, and large European-style spoons available. What I appreciated was that even though it's a budget spot, everything was clean, tidy, and the service was impressively fast. After dinner, I took a walk around Kanazawa's downtown area. The weather was cool, and a few groups of students were out for the evening, along with couples walking close together under the yellow lights. The streets here didn't have as many flashy signs as Tokyo or Osaka, mostly 2- or 3-story buildings, warm white lights, and gently opened shops. I stopped at a stall near the station selling mini castella cakes. They bake them on the spot, small round cakes about the size of a fist, soft and fragrant when eaten hot. A simple egg cake style, but very addictive. I bought a box of 6 to bring back, planning to eat them the next morning. I returned to the hotel, took a hot shower, then sat down to jot down the day's journey in my notebook. A habit I keep when visiting cities like this. Day 2. Exploring Kanazawa, the samurai village. Good morning from Kanazawa. On the second day, I woke up early, checked out and left my luggage at the hotel, then walked to Higashi Chaya District, the most famous area in Kanazawa for its traditional tea house architecture. This is a street of 2-story wooden houses built in the Edo period style, quietly located on the edge of the city center. The road is stone-paved, with many tea shops, pottery stores, wagashi sweet shops, and souvenir stalls on both sides. I stopped by a stall selling red bean-filled pastries, priced at about $1.3 each, crispy on the outside, mildly sweet inside, delicious while still warm. Along the way were also a few small cafes inside wooden houses, with simple wooden tables and chairs. Drinks cost around $3.55, and sitting there watching the street was quite relaxing. I reached the Nishichaya area around 9 a.m. when it was still pretty quiet, so I could walk freely and take photos without people in the way. After that, I started shopping at a few specialty stores in the area. Kanazawa is famous for producing up to 99% of Japan's gold leaf. So, there are many gold-related products here. From cosmetics, facial masks with gold, oil blotting paper, to ice cream topped with real gold. I tried a vanilla ice cream cone covered with thin gold leaf, literally edible metal leaf laid flat on top of the ice cream. The flavor was still regular vanilla, soft and creamy, but with a slight metallic sensation at the tip of the tongue. The cone cost about $6, definitely not for the taste, but for the experience. Besides gold, this area also has some craft shops selling paper fans, handkerchiefs, Kutani porcelain teacups, and especially sake. If you enjoy sake, you should visit the tasting counters. Each one offers a different sample. Some are mildly sweet, some have a strong fermented rice aroma. Even a single sip warms the stomach. That afternoon, I went to a small sushi restaurant recommended online. An omakase-style place, meaning the chef chooses the dishes for you based on the day's freshest ingredients. I had made a reservation the day before. When I arrived, the chef had already prepared the ingredients in the fridge behind the counter. The set I chose included 26 pieces of sushi, priced around $20 to $21. The fish was prepared on the spot, served one by one, not laid out on a plate. There was salmon, herring, squid, sea urchin, and salmon roe. The sushi rice had a touch of black vinegar mixed in, and you could really taste the difference in every bite. Lunch ended with a complimentary cup of hot tea. The chef bowed as I left. A simple lunch, but one I think I'll remember for a long time. After lunch, I walked to a small temple located near central Kanazawa. What made it special was that, when I arrived, the temple was preparing for a local festival. The scene was very down-to-earth, a few elderly people tying up paper lanterns, kids in yukata running around, adults setting up bamboo stalls to sell drinks and grilled pastries. A group was practicing taiko drumming in the front yard. The beats were strong, rhythmic, and steady. I watched for about 15 minutes. Then an elderly lady invited me to have a free cup of cold tea. Next, I walked to the 21st Century Museum of Contemporary Art. Famous for its illusion pool piece, Leandro Ehrlich's swimming pool. Admission was about $3. Inside, the space is divided into sections, each showcasing a different theme. I started in the installation room. There was one space filled entirely with mirrors, where your reflection repeated endlessly. Nearby was a display of household objects like tables, chairs, and fridges, but arranged upside down, hanging from the ceiling. I spent the most time at the illusion pool area. From above, it looked like a normal swimming pool with people walking around at the bottom, as if swimming. In reality, those people were inside a room beneath the pool's base, which was covered by a layer of glass with water on top, creating the feeling of being submerged without getting wet. I also went down and looked up to see people walking directly above. If you enjoy spots that are visually unusual without being too heavy on art theory, this is definitely worth a visit. From there, I took a bus to the Samurai District, Nagamachi. This area used to house samurai families during the feudal era and still preserves its wooden homes, yellow clay walls, tiled roofs, and small canals along the road. Right beside it was a temporary festival setup with a few food stalls and games for kids. I tried a few snacks: a chicken yakitori skewer, dorayaki, a type of pancake with filling, and a chilled fruit juice. The atmosphere was lively, even though the festival hadn't officially started yet. Some people wore yukata. Traditional folk music played softly in the background, and everyone was laughing and chatting freely. Completely different from the quiet and solemn image many people have of the Japanese. I left the Samurai District around late afternoon as the sun began to set. The sky was clear, no rain, so I decided to head up to a hilltop temple, a spot locals often visit to watch the sunset. The path to the temple wasn't too far, just a 10-15-minute walk. At the top was a stone-paved courtyard surrounded by trees. And from there you could see almost the entire western side of Kanazawa City. The sun was near the horizon, round and vividly red, unobstructed by clouds. The light spread across the rooftops below, turning everything a soft orange, gradually deepening as dusk fell. In the distance, the river shimmered with an orange-red hue, reflecting the final light of the day. Night had fully arrived. I headed back to the city center for dinner. This time, I chose a small restaurant in an alley, serving local-style dishes. Recommended by a hotel staff member. The main dish I had was a variation of okonomiyaki, but wrapped in a thin, crepe-like sheet similar to rice paper, with vegetables, meat, and egg inside, topped with mayonnaise and a thick, savory sauce. It was sprinkled with seaweed powder and bonito flakes. The dish was soft, chewy, slightly sweet, very easy to eat, and cost around $5. I ordered a portion of mini castella cakes for dessert. The same type I bought the night before, but this time eaten warm on the spot, much more fragrant and tender. The place was small, only 5-6 tables, owned by an elderly couple who served quietly and slowly, but were very kind. I ate slowly, since this was my final meal before leaving the city the next morning. And if you're planning a short trip to Kanazawa and want to know roughly how much it might cost, Below is a real breakdown of my expenses from the 2-day, 1-night trip. Traveling comfortably, eating well, and enjoying the experience without going overboard. The total cost for this trip was around $291 to $325 USD. For 2 days and 1 night, including food, sightseeing, and basic shopping. If you're planning to visit Kanazawa, this budget is quite reasonable for a relaxing trip without having to worry too much about money. I think Kanazawa is a very solid option if you're looking to go somewhere from Tokyo for 1 to 2 days without the crowds of more famous cities. The costs are manageable, and the destination offers variety. Great food, traditional culture, scenic spots to walk around, and quiet cafes. If you go in autumn or spring, the weather is even better, making it a very pleasant experience. If you found this content helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications to follow more of our travel guide journeys.